Hi Sloths, and welcome back to Ebon Live, the third episode in this Let's Play. Just start recording and already I can't talk. Brilliant, what a lovely start that is. In the last episode we got kidnapped by a very mean elf kind of guy. And in this episode we're going to kind of see what happens next. But first I want to explain something real quick. If I can open the compendium. That is not the compendium. That's not the compendium. Can I please hit the right button? Why is this not working now? Come on. No, that's wrong. There we go. Minor technical difficulties. Please ignore. I kind of want to show this stat sort of screen menu, whatever you want to call it. I did say in the last episode that I really wanted to explain this, but I couldn't really remember what exactly all of this means. I did write some notes just so I don't butcher what it is that I'm trying to say, but I just realised that the only note I don't have on there is virtue, and I can't remember what that does off of the top of my head, so you're going to have to wait until like next episode for me to figure that out, or maybe some point, I don't know. I'm recording this in like a set of 3, so I might just hop into the next recording and completely forget that I forgot to do virtue or whatnot. So what I want to actually explain is what this entire like stat screen sort of means and what it does. Just move my mic a little bit. There we go. First off, as you can see, these top 8 are like a mix between, some of them are like purple and some of them are like a reddish orange sort of colour, like inertia, doubt and discord, and I kind of need to explain that for anyone who's looking to play this game and just wants to know how they can sort of manipulate their stats a little bit, and to figure out like what stats do what specific options. So the first one we're going to look at is obviously discord. I'm going to try and swiftly do this as quick as I can, because I really want to just get into this episode. And discord basically, actually, first I need to explain why it's purple and orange, or red. Purple basically means that it's going in the right direction, that it's good, and that it's, you know, a-okay, and like this reddish orange sort of colour, that just means that it's going bad. It's a bad version of that stat, like negativity and positivity. That's basically what it is. Not in that order, but you know what I mean. Specifically, let's have a look at Discord first. Discord, if you didn't know, I'm not talking about the social media app or whatever, but Discord is a word that basically means chaotic, or, you know, it's to do with chaos and uncertainty. Discord in this specific context is all about when the player deals with chaotic and stressful scenarios within the game. The more discord you encounter, the more orangey red the stat will become, and I don't think it actually has a purple. I think discord is the only stat that is actually fully negative, but I imagine that it will go down, or will be more purple. I'm not entirely sure, I can't really remember, if the player does not encounter like as many stressful or chaotic situations. And as for the next one, inertia is basically something that's relative to like things that don't change, and stuff like that. So in this context, it's basically when the player chooses options that don't really change anything, and that's the purple sort of side of it. But the negative side of it is when you're supposed to change something, or choose an option that changes something, but you don't, and that's just a bad thing, because it's like you're supposed to change, like, I don't know, say a chicken escaped, and you're supposed to catch it, and then you just kind of do nothing. Yeah, that's like the bad sort of inertia. That's where you don't change what has to be changed, if you get what I mean. Next up, I was going to do Virtue, but obviously I can't because I forgot what it does and I don't have it in my notes. But Daring is basically kind of an obvious one, but I thought I'd explain it anyway. Ugh, if I can catch my breath. Daring basically means that in this situation the player chooses options that defy the higher power, like all the times where we was like saying no, we're not gonna tell you anything about the Cuffin Tall and stuff like that to Lysaga. I really don't know how to pronounce that. I'm actually in the this is not sponsored by the way, I'm actually in the Under Bliss Ebon Light Discord, so I'm gonna have to ask them, see if they know how to actually properly pronounce Lysaga's name, because I'm just gonna end up calling him like Lysaga. I don't know, it's strange. So I'm gonna ask them in a bit, see how you actually properly pronounce that. But with Daring as well, if you are supposed to be defying like a higher power and you don't, that's when it goes more negative, more orange and red. The next one up is Doubt, and that's another kind of obvious one. If a player chooses like options that lead to like self-doubt and doubting others that like the characters that they're close to, then it goes like an orangey red sort of colour, and it's, you know, it's not fun, it's negative. But if you go down, if you choose options that don't doubt yourself or the players, the characters around you, then basically it goes more purple, everything's happy, all that stuff. And I think doubt and rest are like the options that mainly lead to what's it called? The character's like mental state, which I'll get into rest in a minute. Charity is another really obvious one. It's just when the character chooses, the player chooses options that are more helpful and nice and caring towards others. If I do that, then it'll go up more purple. If I don't, or if I choose options that are, you know, supposed to be unhelpful and uncharitable, hence the name, it goes like a more reddish orange sort of colour. Next up we have Might, which is connected to Daring, I think. I could be wrong about this, but it's, as far as I know, it's basically when the player chooses like daring options, and then they continue with that, and they sort of like come out of that unscathed. That is sort of like a victory, and I think that plus surviving like dangerous situations, I think that makes it more purple. But trying to defy and failing to defy properly, that makes it more of a reddish orange sort of negative colour. And finally, rest. Rest is kind of a big one, which I never really took notice at all in the first what's it called, the first route that I went on when I first played the game. But I think it might be a little bit more important than anyone probably gives it credit for. But the more times the player chooses options that allow the character to rest, then the rest meter will fill up, and I think it has a chance of allowing you to do more daring, more daring options, where it's sort of like you're less doubtful of yourself. Hence why I said that doubt and rest are kind of connected. But it also fits into mental stability and energy and stuff like that. And basically when you don't rest, it sort of goes down and it gets more orange or red or whatever you want to call it, and then it just starts to negatively affect the player, not the player, the character. Anyway, that's enough of that for now. Let's actually get into the main episode, I guess you could say. Anyway, we want to know where we're going. And Lysaga is apparently Lysaga? I'm going to have to call him Lysaga for now. But he's saying that he's taking us to the Bastion, which is a ship in this game. And I think there's a Bastion on the... is it on the... Yes it is. We'll have a look at the Bastion real quick. I know I wanted to get straight into the episode, but kinda can't if there's all this going on. The Bastion, a proud vessel of the Gha'alian navy. The Bastion is a mere 26 years old, and the first of its kind wrought in that's a funny name, Warada Wood. That's like a tongue twister, Warada. Yeah, I don't like it. General Faline? Gonna say Faline. General Phalane's fleet, as in the number of his legion, had always been the smallest. The Bastion, an uncharacteristic large ship, for a fleet's typically more subtle manoeuvres. The success of the Bastion brought about the commission of other mimicking vessels, many of which significantly larger and better armed. The Bastion has remained well maintained and active, a rare instance of Gha'alian Pathfinder holding on to its relevance and reverence. Anyway, that's enough of that, and let's actually, for real this time, get into the rest of the video. He expects us to get onto a ship, even though we, the character, have never been on a ship before. So we don't know what it's like. You will be on the ship. We gotta be a little bit more submissive here because we kinda don't have a choice. We've already seen that, so... Because if I refuse, you'll just force me into it. That took you a long time to come to terms with it, didn't it? It's a bit much to accept all at once, which it is. It's, I mean, you just kind of stormed in, claimed I consumed something of value to your empire, possibly murdered our aunt, and kidnapped us for various reasons. Yeah, definitely not fun. If that's true, you're even more sheltered than you look. Oh, thanks, dickhead. I tried to piece together what little information I had. I tried to remember any time anyone had ever referenced Gha'alia in the past. I couldn't remember anything. When the coast appeared, I immediately spotted the ship. It wasn't the Serpentine, which I had once thought to be the largest ship in the world. Indeed, the ship was somehow much larger. On the beach not far from us, there were dozens of elves just as pale, sullen-faced, and dark-clad as the one who found me. Huh. You and I made good time. I thought we were going to be late. The elf sounded pleased, in a very bored sort of way. Stay put. You're bored shortly. Leave a basket or have some children or whatever it is you humans do. I've never heard that line until I first... Well, I've never heard of anything that... Oh, don't even matter. I can't even think of what I was trying to say. I watched the elves for a while, but the longer I did, the more surreal it all became. I tried to imagine where we were in relation to that village, how far north we must have been, so that no one would have seen the elves' massive ship. Surely someone in the village must have seen one of these elves. Nope. And what were they doing? The elves were everywhere, an infestation that had gone completely unnoticed. I was sitting on the beach somewhere north of the village I'd lived in my whole life. But I was surrounded by strange beings, and they were threatening to take me away to their strange land. What's more, I felt utterly exhausted. My mind had been running, my heart racing. No, I was beyond mere exhaustion now. I would have thought to feel restless and jumpy, keenly aware, but that wasn't the case. A thought kept clouding my mind. The marrow I'd consumed, I didn't feel sick, only weary. But if all the elves were here for the thing I drank, what would that mean? Had I poisoned myself? Well, we'll get into that later, won't we? As the sun set, my worries began to fade. Though it lasted for only a few moments between the strange weariness and the rosy sky, I felt comforted, pacified. The last comfort before the slaughter. I love that line. That's so fun. The last comfort before the slaughter. The last pulse of warmth before the freeze. Human. It's Mavis. We're leaving. Perhaps the calm I felt scrounged up a desire for dignity, because I realised I wanted to call my captor by his name. Just a little bit of Stockholm Syndrome there. Just a little bit. I wouldn't be abducted and tormented by a man whose name I didn't even know. What's your name? Why do you want to know? Are you hoping to be friends? What is this, Sans? I would like to know the name of the elf who brought me here. Lysaga Darhal, first scout of the Gha'alian forces. I was a little surprised he told me his name, and in a bizarre way I was surprised he even had one. This all felt a bit too much like a dream. Get moving, human. Move quickly. My name is Mavis. I'm not the one who asked for introductions. Wondering who will remember you? Then let's go. We definitely will not be friends. Oh, then if we call each other whatever we please, I'll call you Lacey. Yes! I love it. Lacey. Of course, this obviously happens during like every playthrough. You basically give Lysaga the very easy name of Lacey. Because if you don't, I'll have to be calling him Lysaga for a long time and it will be hard. Yeah. Sorry, just taking a quick drink there. Fine then. Lacey. It's... excuse me? I've always liked lace. I've only seen it twice before. The shepherd's wife has a lace shirt. It's so pretty and delicate. Just like you, Lacey. Just like you. Pretty and delicate. Do you have any idea how easily I could kill you? So you keep saying. He does not like the name Lacey. Not one bit. So we have indeed been captured and taken onto the boat. Let's have a quick look at the compendium and see who Lacey actually is. Lysaga. We'll want to ask after Lysaga among his superiors and peers. They would likely have nothing remarkable to say, unless they would find his particular demeanour insulting, or happen to have great admiration for skill with a bow. Lysaga has pretty decent skill with a bow, apparently. Lysaga has had a few minorly. What is wrong with me? I can't speak today. Just my brain's not working. A few minorly impressive moments in his military career, but nothing with which sent ripples through the forces. Just enough prestige to get him saddled with a scouting partner like Vadine? I'm gonna say Vadine. Or Vadin? I'm gonna say Vadine. Yeah, Vadine Millerose. Lysaga seems unbothered by his slow advancement, as though this too is a calculation. Where's words? I lost where I was. Oh, for all intents and purposes, Lysaga is an ideal soldier. He relies on intimidation and aggression to get his way, unconcerned with little beyond serving the forces and living a quiet life. He does have a few curious connections with the Onyx Chandler, a guy we'll be seeing a lot later on. And some might say he keeps himself too closed off from his peers. But no one is concerned about Lysaga, and that suits him just fine. Now, if you see there's these little hearts above some of the names in this compendium, And that basically just means that that's a particular romantic route that we can go down. Yeah, I know. We just got kidnapped by this guy who possibly murdered our aunt, and yet we can date him. Yeah, that's Stockholm Syndrome at its finest. If you don't know what Stockholm Syndrome is, Google it, because I don't really want to explain it here. It's not very fun. Anyway, might as well have been walking into another world. But the Gha'alian's ship, I got a few odd looks from the elves. They were all as pale as Lacey, all wore dark armour, and they all seemed to have dark hair. Their looks never lingered for whatever anomaly I was. I must not have been that remarkable. They moved with purpose, diligent, efficient, unwilling to be distracted. Lacey had followed me onto the deck, staying behind me at an increasing distance. I even lost sight of him in between crowds on occasion, but I suppose he wasn't concerned. Where was I going to? Oh, I just read that wrong. Never mind. I tried to move out of the elves' way as best I could, but I still seemed to be making something of an obstruction. So I tried to stand still. The elves moved around me. And this is Calipoa Millerose. She's not as bad as she first sounds. There you are, Lacey. I heard the name of my escort, and I looked to the woman who spoke it. She was marching toward me. Commander. I hadn't realised Lacey had caught up to me until I heard his voice over my shoulder. Must have scared the shit out of you, just coming out of nowhere and saying hello. Your little side venture successful, I take it? If not... She gave me a long, curious look. Then I'll demand a smuggling fee. There are proper channels if you really insist on taking your lovers home. She is what Gha'alia wants. Gha'alia is another character we'll see quite a bit later on. He's always been a bit of an odd one, hasn't he? Alright, why not? Welcome to the Bastion, human. It seemed I ought to get used to being called human. I'm Commander Calipoa Millerose. Commander? Does that mean you're in charge of all this? The gigantic ship, the masses of black-clad elves, with mysterious agenda somehow involving me? Oh, no. I am in charge of part of this. I'm also in charge of him. She motions at Lacey, sounding ever so slightly smug. I felt a surge of optimism. Then fix this, then you can let me go. Are you all like him? He's a talented stalker. Then can you let me go, please? I held my breath. But then she sighed and glanced away from me. I might have, but it's a bit too late. That ship has sailed. Literally so. That's right, we are heading to the sweet, sweet land of Gha'alia with the elves, and I hope I don't feel seasick from looking at all this, because it's a boat and it's moving up and down, and I don't like that. The first time I played this, it was like really hard for my stomach, but maybe because I've already seen it, it's going to be a little bit easier. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Further, I don't have any interest in crossing the Onyx Chandler, human. I'm sorry. But word of advice, if the Onyx Chandler wants you in his clutches, he'll find a way to have you. If you're clever, you'll figure out how to keep him from wanting you. She sighed, seeming to struggle with something. I really am busy, despite appearances. Let me think, what can I... Perfect! Vadine? The commander seized the attention of another elf, who immediately stopped what he was doing and walked toward us. He sent a look at the commander, then his gaze fell on me. This is Vadine Millerose, who we will also have a look in a few minutes. Who's this? A human? Yes, Commander, I noticed, but she's very onyx, Chandler, and no, I don't know what he wants with her. I began to notice tension between the new elf and Lacey. They stared at each other in silence for a few long seconds. That was when I realised that the ship had begun to move. It was the strangest sensation, and it threw my balance just enough that I had to crouch down to steady myself. Are you alright? And there he goes. Far too easy. Come with me, Lysaga. You have some things to explain. Calipoa and Lacey left immediately, leaving me with the new elf. He held out his hand, offering it to help me with my balance. We are going to take his hand because he's not being a complete and utter arsehole. I hesitated, and then I reached out to take his hand. He held my hand tight, helping me steady myself. All of these elves were deceptively strong even, it seemed. After I stood again and regained my balance, he let my hand go. First time on a ship? Yes. Wasn't that obvious? Was it common to have spent time on a ship? No one I knew had ever been on a ship. No one like this. You're kind of forgetting about Rylan. He kind of lives on a ship. There have been a lot of new things happening to me lately. Thank you. You seem nicer than Lacey. Yeah, you do seem nicer than Lacey. Oh, I should definitely hope so. Wait, what did you just call him? Lacey? You call him Lacey? That's bizarre. Is it? It's not as though he was happy with it. I've no doubt. You're not hurt, are you? No, I'm fine. I tried not to panic at how relieved he looked. If you don't mind, how did you end up? Tell him, ask him why he wants to know. Don't tell him anything. Yeah, we want to know why he's interested. Why are you so interested? I suppose I'm just concerned. I've got a history of sticking my nose where it doesn't belong. So if you want me to leave, you need only say it. He's sweet-ish. Kind of. More than anything, Lysaga being involved is enough to worry me. Lysaga isn't someone I wish on my worst enemy. He seems genuinely concerned, but I don't think we're going to tell him about. In fact, no, let's tell him about that, yeah, why not? He hurt my hand, I'm not sure how badly. The elf met my gaze solemnly, and he stayed quiet for a few moments. I'm sorry. His voice was soft and his demeanour gentle, but I could tell he kept rage hidden under the surface. Yeah, he's pissed. He's pissed at Lysaga. He's pissed at Lacey. He thinks that if someone is defenceless, they're simply at the mercy of people who are stronger. So he pushes people who can't stop him. He's right, he's wrong, I can defend myself, and I should learn to defend myself. Yes. But my first order of business is to learn the most efficient and diverse ways to kill elves. I'm slightly uncomfortable. I mean, you're kind of talking to me, I'm an elf, and you are talking about murdering me right in front of my face and all of my people. That is, both very genocidal, and, it just makes me very uncomfortable. Just, yes. Anyway, good. It should make you feel uncomfortable. At least you were warned. Oh, I haven't even... my name is, Vadine Millerose. What's your name? Mavis. Hadn't I heard Millerose before? Well, truth be told, retaining names was currently a low priority. But yes, he is, connected to the commander. But I think that was the commander's surname as well. Were they related? Well met, Mavis. I'll show you to a hammock if you like. It's very crowded, but at least you'll only be among women. Yeah, women elves. Women are hardly any more safe than men. Are the women here soldiers? Commander Calipo? Yeah, let's ask about the commander. Will Calipo be there? No, she enjoys the spoils of command now. Which basically means that she gets a room all to herself. Away from all the little insignificant bugs that be. For a second I thought he was going to roll his eyes. But Liste, mate. She's also my cousin. Liste, I don't think Liste is on anywhere in the compendium. We'll have a check in a minute. Also... Oh, yes, Calipo is my cousin. Anyway, he showed me to the ship's hold and gave me simple directions to finding a row of hammocks. And this is where we are not gonna quite end it off, but I do want to check compendium real quick. I was gonna say that until like literally the end of the episode, just before I sign off. Let's have a look. People. Is it Delia? No. We don't want to look at that just yet. Or that. No. We've already seen that. So Radine. Sorry, I just kind of like spoiled 2 million people for you there. Radine Millerose. The loveliest bloom comes from a barren garden, but so unaware of itself, so surrounded by prickles and weeds, it will either think itself no better or think itself hopelessly lost. The mystery of how Vadine managed to cultivate such a soft heart in such an unforgiving atmosphere, no less how it has managed to remain uncrushed in the 6 decades. That's right, he's 60 odd. He's over 60 years old at this point. Vadine has been alive, piques the interest and ire of many. He is, they will say, surely destined for tragedy, eventually to be consumed or snuffed out by the pressure. To his fortune, Vadine has no interest in complete surrender just yet. His is a quiet, perhaps ridiculous optimism, which nets him a few allies and many enemies. He has become self-sufficient and prone to dreaming, and forced on occasion to become uncomfortably bold. That is that. We are going to have a look at Calipo Millerose right now. Calipo Millerose is a newly appointed commander in the 1st Division of the Forces, under the rule of her uncle, General Phelan. Oh, words are hard. General Phelan. I'm going to say Phelan. I've probably already gone over this like 2 million times earlier, but still. To say that her ascension was all due to familial favoritism would be a grave mistake. There have been few who've mastered a sword as fast as she, and fewer still who couple this skill with drive and presence. Calipoa is the only daughter of Reclian and Aliwheel Millerose. Aliwheel, no, it is Wheel because Wheel isn't wheeled. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go with Wheel. Aliwheel was 2nd eldest princess of a reigning Lyorian. Oh, what are these words? I don't know. Lyrian king and queen, and Reclian, the 2nd eldest son of Garlois. I'm going to say Garlois. Garlois? Yeah, Garlois. And my twin Millerose. Although one's pedigree often means little in Gha'alia, she is undeniably a pride to her family, and given the status of her family, a pride to all of Gha'alia. But those who know her personally have remarked in hushed tones, she is not always so laudable. Or laudable. We don't have anyone or anywhere else to look at. Well, I guess we'll have a look more at Gha'alia a bit later on, when we actually reach Gha'alia. And I don't think there is anything else here. to have a look at. Have I already looked at the coffin towel? I don't know if I have or not. But that is going to do it for this third episode. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked this video. Please like and subscribe. It's always free. And I shall save the game real quick. Yep. And now I shall see you later.